All right, let's get things going. I'm here today to present AVB in Hospitality System Design. I'm Rex Reed, Business Segment Director of Installed Sound for Harman Signal Processing, and that basically covers BSS audio and DBX professional products. And I'll be talking to you about AVB as it relates to hospitality system design. And to help me with this, I have an expert in the field of design for hospitality and has a long history of audio experience, and that is Michael Cusick. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Rex. Savvy, my company, has been designing, consulting, and installing audio and video systems for the entertainment and hospitality industries for over 20 years. Savvy has over 25 projects in Las Vegas alone, including such venues as Mandalay Bay Theater, Mandalay Bay Event Center, their convention center, and several theaters at the Venetian, Phantom, Jersey Boys, and the Blue Man Theater. We've also worked on casino projects in Chicago, Detroit, Macau, and Singapore. I'm going to take that. One of the primary elements found in most all hospitality systems is the ubiquitous background music. In most hospitality facilities, background music is found everywhere, from the parking lot garage into the lobby, in multi-room foreground and backroom systems, in guest rooms and high-end suites, in restaurants, bars, lounges, and all spaces in between, including meeting room foyers and every restroom in the facility. Also in retail areas, providing the essence of oral wallpaper everywhere a guest goes. The music is categorized, data-based, and customized to the style goals, customer demographics, and mood-setting requirements, and also the time of day and energy level desired to impart to the guest. Background music frequently uses multiple channels of audio, and with the ever-expanding role of video for digital signage, information, and entertainment, we are also charged with managing and distributing a wide range of video and audio feeds for video to multiple locations. Digital signage is finding its way into every corner of our hospitality facilities. Many times this requires synchronous audio for video. Live TV, similar to background music, is available at everywhere in hundreds of channel choices. Audio to accompany live TV must be controllable and independent of the picture feed. One of the more challenging elements of a hospitality background music system is music in the casino areas. Since this is where the real money is made in a gaming hospitality operation, there's much attention paid to background music in the casino. Not only is content, mood, time of day programming deemed critical to establishing the most effective guest mood, but level control must be carefully manipulated, not too much, not too little. Automatic ambient level sensing systems and time of day presets are used extensively in casino systems. Just the right mood has to be established for the guest to achieve the maximum gaming appeal and for the casino to get the maximum return from the guest. Another basic utilitarian requirement of most of the hospitality systems is audio paging. Paging seems simple, but many facilities require multi-zone paging, selective paging into certain areas, not in other areas. Sometimes this has to be programmable per area, per time of day. Paging can originate from a PBX source, a digital message player, or directly from a paging operator or security microphone. Paging systems also incorporate paging priority ducking and multi-level paging automation. Hospitality entertainment areas come in many flavors and sizes. They can be small, intimate piano bar lounges or upbeat high-energy lounges or nightclubs to full-scale large theaters or even arenas, hosting Broadway shows or high-energy headline performers. These venues require standalone performance audio and video systems that also need to interface with and provide outbound feeds to other areas of the facility, as well as take in AV feeds from other areas in the facility. Meeting and convention spaces are a standard offering in most hospitality facilities. Configurable multi-section meeting rooms with local controls are most common. They often require overflow room, AV feeds, multi-room recording, local audio, and multi-format video source distribution to multiple rooms. Convention and exhibit spaces require paging and background music, as well as an AV and data signal distribution over fiber. As the hospitality industry diversifies, more types of facilities are coming under the hospitality umbrella. These include health spas, restaurants, associates dining rooms, training rooms, parking structures, retail shops, luxury suites, media rooms, multi-room AV systems, pool and beach areas. The hospitality industry presents many challenges for audio and video systems, and I'm going to turn this back to Rex so he can talk about some of those challenges.
Thanks, Mike. So just a few of the challenges involved in AV design for hospitality are single building versus multi-building. Many of these can start out as single building structures which can use standard analog, digital that we all know today. But as these build into larger and larger campuses where you're trying to distribute audio and video and control through many different buildings, it lends itself towards a more of a networked solution, a way to distribute all the audio and video across an entire campus. This can even lend itself to having a single high bandwidth backbone, as we've seen from earlier presenters, where we're getting into 10 gig, 40 gig networks. We can start to imagine these kinds of systems. Also, these often have multiple source and destinations that can number into the thousands. There are multiple inputs to the system, multiple outputs, and they need easy ways to control and route the signals through a network topology. Flexibility is really necessary so that you can even use this network to expand the facility in addition. The other requirement, remote device control and monitoring. And this is not only just the ability to monitor device health and metering, but to actually be able to monitor the actual audio coming back at various points in the signal chain for both audio and video, to give you the real confidence of what's going on in the system, and to make it easier to find the issue, where the issue is at, and dispatch the right people to solve that issue. If we get the right amount of bandwidth and the networking, that becomes much more possible if everyone's using the same technology. Here's an example showing a network monitoring control room. And of course, we have multiple audio and video formats. And this has come up earlier today, is that whatever networking technology we use needs to be able to handle multiple types of video and audio formats, all using the same transport, as well as having a common sync. The syncing problems have come up before. We need to have the ability to have not just one, but many syncs for the various audio within the audio and video within the facility. So here, with that in mind of the challenges within the AV system design, Mike and I are going to go back and forth and talk about what has happened, how these are solved today, and what are some of the possibilities in the future applying AVB.
Audio distribution today is done over audio-only CAT or fiber networks via CobraNet, and more recently Dante. These have limited channel counts, 32, 64. Increasing channel counts requires duplication of networks. Video distribution today is done with RF CATV distribution of now standard and now high-def channels, or broadcast quality HD-SDI transport, routing it using coarse wave division multiplexing over fiber.
So in the future, as we've discussed, and you think we all colluded on these presentations because we all have some very common themes of using audio and video distribution over a network system, utilizing the gigabit LANs that are available today, and with 10 gig and 40 gig entering the market soon, we approach the bandwidth that some of the traditional systems that are already providing it today.
Many of today's solutions are based around proprietary networks. Crestron DM for digital media is used to transport analog and digital video sources to destinations. Audio network solutions such as CobraNet and Dante are proprietary and come with licensing fees for the manufacturers that become costs passed on to users. Interoperability and cross-connectivity are impaired.
So with the various proprietary networks, the biggest issue I see with that is really it comes down to cost. If everyone has proprietary end nodes, we don't have a large enough industry or large enough people in that to bring the real cost down. So by utilizing a common networking, especially by utilizing Ethernet technology that is already ubiquitous, we can begin to drive to where we have chipsets available to us that can bring that cost down, and we no longer have to pay the licensing and hardware fees that go along with the proprietary type of systems.
In terms of control and monitoring, today control is accomplished by using separate control-only Ethernet networks or combining them with CobraNet delivery networks using gigabit switches and VLANs to manage QoS for audio transport.
Okay. With high bandwidth networking and true audio video support and switch, it can be possible to monitor the network and signal chain all throughout the system. And this potential also allow for remote monitoring facilities that are off-site, so that network operation facilities that are monitoring many sites around the world can be realized. Control network for improved control and device monitoring, such as projectors, amplifiers, and processors.
Flexible reconfiguration. Flexible reconfiguration is becoming a standard procedure with many facilities and many systems. The ability to easily reconfigure physical locations, network architecture, and control locations is demanded. An example of this is casino gaming floors are now being constructed as giant computer floors, enabling slots and tables games to be reconfigured on the fly to meet the ever-changing design demands of the casino.
As we build networked AV systems, become more available to fast reconfiguration. Since the network is the same kind of connectivity everywhere, you can then remove and re-plug in systems anywhere in the network and have it reconfigure. And since the end nodes can establish those reservations on their own, it doesn't require going back into the switch network to restructure everything. And the example Mike gave was, I thought, a great example of how the worlds of AV and IT are coming together when they're starting to use many of the same physical structures to solve some of the same problems. Oh, that's it. And in closing, as we've said before, the network switch needs to really be a part of the AV solution. Right now, today, the switch really isn't a part of the solution, and we need to fix the network, as Lee put it. It is a standards-based approach, and in this way, everybody can participate, and they can also help make the standard better. Everybody can put in, learn how the standard works, make it better, make it work better for everybody. And we can utilize existing standard switch networks and the huge industry that is there already developing higher, faster bandwidth switches. Reduce network engineering. I think we all understand that the amount of time taken to configure a network, understand the issues in networking, it's a very complex and difficult to understand not only just one switch, but all of the various switches out there and how to get them to work. So one point of AVB, let the end nodes negotiate that with each other. Let them define that, and then we as manufacturers can make that work as well as we can make it work. Instead of just saying, I don't know, you have to go to the switch and figure that out. So we don't want to go there. And I think that one of the huge things is this idea of reduced cost. I think AVB has the real potential of driving this kind of connectivity into chipsets and parts of chips that can get the cost down to where we need it so that manufacturers can get back to making great products. Instead of spending our time and energy solving the network issues, we would really like to have the network just be there and work and start focusing back on the real product. And also another point that came up as Mike and I were talking is there's other industries that are interested in AVB, and it's not just for audio and video. There's industries like industrial controls, where they are looking for that same kind of delivery of a message at a certain time to all the various machinery or other things in a system. They need that kind of precision time protocol approach. So that's another huge industry that could adopt AVB fundamentals to solve some of their problems. And you could even take it to the point of, we talked about mission control systems for space flight and that sort of thing, where there's critical timing in a network. And if you have a network that has that kind of critical timing, these other industries, by adopting it, will again get that cost back down. All right, thank you. And do you have any questions? Yeah.
What facility have you installed an AVB system in yet?
None.
None yet?
I'm the present tense, he's the future tense. I think that's a problem that most of us in this room faces. Very, very few of us have installed AVB systems. So we're looking at it from the perspective of what have we done in the past and how you can start to see how we could possibly have benefited from this new technology, especially as our projects start scaling bigger and bigger and control and monitoring becomes more and more important all the time. And another point I wanted to make, that the cost of monitoring and controlling a very large system, like that slide we showed of Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, the casino owners don't want to pay for a staff of hundreds to be at every little corner and place to monitor these things. So a facility like that, which is not still totally networked, only in groupings, would benefit from further networking, complete overall networking, and centralized control and monitoring. And that translates into lower cost for the owner of the project in terms of labor.
When you guys are writing software for the front-end user to set up networks or assign channels or groups, if you had like a group of companies that all work together to make it similar, I think it would make it a lot easier for people to adopt. Is that something that's happening inside of Harman? And a bigger question to Lee is that something that's happening inside of Avenue?
We'll show that. Actually, we have the interoperability demo that'll be on the show floor. And we do have a controller that is made by the University of New Hampshire that is a separate piece of software talking to all the various devices and giving you a matrix view of how to connect the various signals. It's all very new, and what we have going over there is bleeding edge, I'll tell you that. But that's the kind of thing that's coming, and we're all trying to work together in order to get that kind of control overall.
On the subject of control, is there any organization or group that is working within Avenue to define a basic set of control protocols for just a simple dry contact closure, do this, don't do that? Because everybody's DSP box always has a few, general purpose IOs. It'd be nice if there was just a basic set of controls that everybody could say, do this, don't do that.
Right. There is it's not within Avenue. And it's slipping my mind for the moment. There is a group of doing an open source approach to controls. And we're watching what they're doing and trying to understand it and understand how that could map to our own control. Because we understand that that's an issue. It's a difficult problem because for a lot of these different types of parameters, each manufacturer has their own separate ways of controlling them and the way they've mapped them to their own DSP. But there's a lot of commonality, too, that we should try and leverage. So there is that movement going on. It's not within Avenue, though. Anything else?
How long, or how much of this is being brought to the London process as well, just with all the added benefits of what London brings to the table?
The question was how much of this is being brought to London, and we'll be showing on the floor that we will have a AVB card for SoundWeb London. It's called the Blue 805, Blue 325. Our approach is we're basically replacing the Cobranet card that we have on there with an AVB card. That way we're maintaining the main board, which is nice not to have too many pieces of hardware changing all at once, and providing AVB functionality. And we expect that within the next month or so to be shipping. Oh, we also have been working with Netgear, obviously, with the AVB switch to provide that. And we're continuing to work with them to make sure that we all stay up on the various standards. Since this is all brand new, we have to all keep up on it. Anything else? All right. Thank you very much.